Hi, I'm Willing, and I just want to make a short video on some of the things that people may read on the internet. And sometimes for new people, when they go and check the internet for news and forums about Nu Skin and how is it and all that kind of stuff, a lot of people do that, and it's not that we have anything to hide, because it's public anyway. So but I think a lot of times whether what they say is true or not, it's hard to say, because it might be true, and because there are many people who do Nu Skin, and some people may not be trained. Some people are new and they recommend people, and so the new people may not know how to handle questions, and when they're not successful, they quit, and of course they leave their customers in a situation where they have to go back to the company to handle it. And a lot of times the distributors may say something or promise something, or may say certain claims that may not be accurate, and so when they ask for a certain particular refund, they don't get it, and of course the company has to answer it based on what the company's policy is, which may be sometimes different than what the distributor had promised before. Okay, for example, I was reading a list of 30 over reviews, and one of them was about TR90, and he said that he was promised that it's a 3 months supply, and so he paid basically the money for 1 month, and so of course it's not a 3 month solution, and I think that is more so a communication issue than than whether or not Nu Skin is right or wrong, or does a product work or not work. And so a lot of the reviews that I read, all of them are negative except one, which is a positive one. Were, I think, mostly about returns and things that very difficult to get the refund or something like that, and some pricing there. And I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. Maybe it does, and again, like I said, maybe it's because the communication between that distributor and the company and them in between, and it's unfortunate, and I think it shouldn't happen. If there's anything wrong with the system in which Nu Skin charges, absolutely, if I was a customer, I probably wouldn't stand for that as well, especially such a company like that. So if that's the case, then definitely I'd like to apologize, because that shouldn't happen to any consumer or any customer ever. Okay, and there should be proper channels by which how that is solved. So but I think if I look back at my experience coming into Nu Skin 13 years back, I was introduced by my sister-in-law, and I bought products from her, and then later I signed up for a membership, and then I bought products from the company. So that was pretty straightforward. There is not much of an issue there. It's basically just buy, and that's it. At that time, we didn't have really online purchases at that time like we do now, so we didn't have a lot of this issue, so we didn't have to talk to people on the phone. We just went to the showcase, talked to the people, and had it all done that way. Okay, so I'm not too sure about America, because America doesn't have a showcase like Asia does. Asia, we have a showcase, we can go and see the people, talk to them, and get the things resolved. In America, and I think in England as well, you have to make phone calls and do all those things. Okay, so that's a little bit of a difference. And I think it has to do with the introducer. So I was very blessed, and I'm very grateful that my introducer, my sister-in-law, kind of showed me, how it is, how I fill the form, and the procedures and the processes, and it was pretty straightforward. There's really nothing to do. I did read about, there's a process called ADR, called Automatic Delivery Rewards, and it's a little bit tricky. I've ordered some US products myself, and there were some challenges also, because sometimes when you go online to make a purchase, if you haven't logged in, you will see a price which is let's say $140, okay? Just example for a product. But when you log in, when you become a member and you log in, the price changes from $140 to $100, a 40% discount, okay, roughly. And so the price is different. Then if you like to go on a program that basically rewards you for your loyalty every month, we call it ADR. So in US it's called ADR, in Malaysia it's called ARO. So slightly different. Some countries are slightly different in terms of the way they do the ADR and ARO. In Malaysia it's quite straightforward. That means if you're on an ARO contract, you have to at least buy about 50 points, which is about $50 US worth of product every month, so that you can actually enjoy another 20% discount from the wholesale price. So a lot of us definitely want the 20% discount, so we'll go there. A lot of people may not realize that when they go on to the to the ARO price in Malaysia, that it's a commitment. It's a commitment, but the cancellation fee is very small. It's about 40 ringgit, you know, for cancellation. And but it does require you to continue for 1 month before it cancels out. So a little bit of a stretch there, but you can cancel it. And for example, the cancellation fee, 40 ringgit. Let me give you an example. If you were to just buy the Life Pack, which is a multivite I've been taking for about 13 years, as a member, it's about 180 ringgit, okay? But if you go on the ADR program or the ARO program and you buy it monthly, because it's a supplement you take monthly, it's 130 ringgit. So it's cheaper by 50 ringgit. And so if you cancel, it's only 40 ringgit. So basically, you've actually, you know, benefited from the ADR anyway. Okay, so with the ARO, you can purchase all the products, any products with the ADR price. Okay, as long as you fulfill each invoice more than 50 points. Okay. Now in America, the ADR works differently. The ADR, sometimes there's ADR packages that they package, and it's a lot cheaper when you buy it individually. So there's a package as well. The ADR works with several options. That means you can choose it to ship every month on that date, and sometimes it can be processed on that month itself, depending on which you click. And so sometimes people may they don't know, they may have created an ADR account, therefore making it charging every month, okay? And they may not know it because they might be selecting a cheaper product or an ADR package that they didn't realize would be a monthly commitment, okay? And maybe sometimes I fall into that situation as well. I didn't realize it, so I go and cancel it, and I've been canceling ADRs, you know, for a long time, because, you know, in Malaysia we do buy some American products because we don't have all the products here in Malaysia, so I do buy some US products, and in order to make it cheaper, I do buy the ADR, but I make sure that the second month I cancel it. And like one of the reviews said, they got an email 5 days prior to the charge, and I got the same email, so I called, I sent an email and I got it cancelled, which was pretty straightforward, and it was cancelled right away. So I didn't see that difficulty that they have in the people that they have, so I'm not too sure why I've done the same thing that they have. I've gone through the same process they have, but it was pretty straightforward. I just emailed and I cancelled, and that was it. So sometimes they didn't know what they were ordering, or the commitment they realized, because they may have wanted a cheaper price. And so I know the reviews paint Nu Skin as a pretty negative business, and from reading it, I mean, anybody would look at that and say, yeah, it's pretty bad. But I've been doing Nu Skin for 13 years. I've met with the CEO, I have dinner with the CEO, with the founders, I've been interviewed by them, I have met with the leaders in Malaysia, you know, on and off, and I've never felt that kind of experience as the people who has reviewed that, as a consumer as well as a business builder. Now, all of my business builders, all my downlines, most of them started as a consumer themselves, and they use the products, they saw the results, and they start to do the business that way. And I'm sure if all my downlines were the people who wrote that review, I probably wouldn't be doing the business too, because it sounds pretty negative. But I must say that it may happen to some people, but and a lot of times in these kind of reviews, especially consumer reports, consumer affairs, they are really looking for people who are complaining. So I mean, if you're looking for people who are complaining, they're gonna do that. And and you will say, well, how come there's no good reviews? Well, frankly speaking, you're right, but I think people who are unhappy about their service definitely want to find a place to vocalize it and tell people, and they have the right to do that. There's nothing wrong with that as well. But I believe in the products. I've used them. My family has used them, and every time when people look at me, they say, "Hey, Willing, how come you're still the same? I'm 46." And people say, how come I'm still, looking this young in my 30s? And I have nothing but, to thank Nu Skin, and of course, the products and using them. And a lot of times when you read, some of them said that they didn't see results, and some of them were even saying that the spa head was plastic. It is plastic, but there's a process in which we chrome the plastic so that it can conduct electricity. And if you notice inside the caps, which I'm an engineer, so if it doesn't work, I definitely will know it, because I'm an engineer. My wife is a chemical engineer, and she's a trained quality auditor. So she goes to Samsung, LG, Toshiba to audit the companies, audit the production line. So when she looked at the quality of the products, she was impressed herself with that. I'm an engineer. I'm a mechanical engineer. I'm working for Motorola for 13 years. So when it comes to these things, I kind of understand how it happens. So it is plastic. It is chromed so that it can pass through current. If you look inside the caps, you will see two metal pieces that actually conduct electricity to the front surface. Okay. Now, if it doesn't work, you probably can't hear the machine, making a sound every 20 seconds. Because if you can't hear it, that means it's definitely not working, but it does work. Okay. Now, I have actually sold spas to people, and they've taken it home to use it, and they'll call me and say, "Willie, it doesn't work." And later I realized what has happened is there's a thin plastic that is stuck on the back plate metal that they didn't peel it off. And it's very thin. You can't quite see it sometimes. So after they peel off, then it starts working. Okay. So I'm not saying that any of that happened to any of the reviews, but I just, you probably want to make your judgment yourself. And there'll always be negative people to say negative things about a company that doesn't work, and give them some issues and all that kind of stuff. But then again, there are people who use the products and have results, okay? And like me, like the person who sponsored you, and thousands of people all over the world. Nu Skin is a 31-year-old company. We're a $3 billion company, and it probably wouldn't be a $3 billion company if the product doesn't work. And I know it's unfortunate that you see so many negatives, but that's a place where people complain. So that's inherently what's going to happen, is you're going to read a lot of negative things. And but trust yourself. You've seen the demo, you've experienced it. I hope you've experienced it and you've seen the results. And the people. I think that if you know the people, if the people that you have introduced you are trustworthy people and the good people, and they probably wouldn't do bad things to each other. I mean, I use a product, and I use it on my mother and my father, and they're in the 80s. I don't think I want to cause any harm to them. And of course, my daughter is 8 years is 16, and she's using the product and recommending it to people too. And I'm, you know, so if I thought that this is bad, I probably wouldn't want my daughter to be involved as well. But she since when she was 2 years old till 16, in the past 14, 13 years, she's grew up in this Nu Skin world, and she's seen it for herself, and what Nu Skin was to be able to provide her, and the health that her parents are in right now. So so she's seen the benefits of this product. So yes, there's many websites. I've in fact analyzed quite a few of them, and individually, and looked into every one of the claims that they have made. In particular, to some people who have claimed that you know, they make money, and they not a bunch of negative things. And I realize that the people who make these claims, they're not qualified, in a sense that they're not in the business. They're outsiders who have been introduced or heard negative things about the business, and they make certain claims, and they read certain statistics, and they you know, they associate it with Nu Skin. And I've been doing Nu Skin for 13 years, and a lot of their claims are unfounded because they miss out certain points, and certain you know, things that a business builder will know that doesn't make Nu Skin a scam or a pyramid. I mean, if it was, I probably wouldn't be here at all. And excuse me, I'm picking up my daughter, and I don't know where she is. But so that's a bit about my experience about this this issue. I hope that it gives you some perspective. You know, yes, there are negatives, and some of them, yeah, are true. And unfortunately, you know, Nu Skin is a business where a lot of people can do it. They're you know, and but I'm a professional. I believe in doing things professionally. I believe in learning the products, using them ourselves, and following the rules. And I can't say that for everybody who does Nu Skin. And but I'm very glad that my uplines, they have always you know, given us the right attitude, the mindset, and behaviors to do it, because it's a business that I will pass down to my children one day. And it wouldn't make sense if I wanted to sabotage their livelihood with what I do here today. And Nu Skin is governed under the Direct Selling Association, in which in Malaysia, for example, there are thousands of direct selling MLM companies, but only 300 to 400 are actually registered with the Direct Selling Association. And that's important. Because it's regulated, unlike the 800, which is not regulated, and they can do many things. And can you imagine if there are 800 companies who don't do the right thing? That means a lot of people out there are listening to, are affected by a lot of negative news, rather than good companies doing good things. Okay, so it's like that, and that's currently one of the challenges that we face, is to let people know the truth, using Nu Skin the right way, so that they don't, you know, they don't, so that they know the truth. And that's really what we want people to know, is to just know the truth, and to experience Nu Skin the right way, so that they can benefit from the products and also transform themselves as well. Now, I'm sure that, you know, there will continue to be negative news, because joining the business is very simple. You just sign up and that's it. And but becoming a professional in this business, doing the right thing, oftentimes requires, you know, you know, time and exposure and learning and training and reading and going for trainings, and which, frankly speaking, not many people do. And they a lot of times have the perception that network marketing is easy, and you know, you can make a lot of money very fast. And that's, unfortunately, for 13 years in this business, it's not that way. Hi. So I hope that makes sense for you. And but I do hope that my sharing gives you some faith and confidence in our company, and and in the way that we do things. I don't know what other people do things, and the distributors in those 30 or so reviews, I don't know how they do things, but have confidence in how we do things, and use the products and experience them and benefit from them and share them with friends. I've in my 13 years, I've never experienced those things that are listed inside there. Although there are some, customers who are a bit more picky and a bit stubborn, and they either want it cheap, they want it free, they want it a big, all these kind. We do have those things, and sometimes we have to deal with them as well. And sometimes they are rational people, sometimes they're not rational people. And when they're not rational, it's really hard to actually work with these people. And although we don't want them to feel negative and angry, we do try our best to serve them as best as we can. But I think for the past 13 years and working with my team of consumers who became business builders, they saw the benefits. They learned and became professional in this industry, and that's why they become successful in this business. And so you're gonna ask me, so what do I do with the 31 reviews? Well, I would have to say that not every restaurant will make everybody happy. Not every government will make everyone happy. Not every lawyer is good, and but I would just have to say, trust the person who sponsored you, who introduced you to this this business, and I think trust in the goodness of this company. I think the company does far more good than all these reviews that they have, and it's unfortunate, and I apologize to those people who were affected. But I think when done the right way, Nu Skin is a beautiful, beautiful company, and I'm so grateful that I've been able to be part of this company for the past 13 years, and it's just wonderful. So I hope it helps. Okay, maybe I'll meet you one day. Bye bye.